All right, Floyd's Mayhem Garage. I'm actually at the shop, and Floyd says he has a surprise for us, so let's see what it's gonna be. It's probably a hoopty. Well, it looks like Floyd has a new scrap truck.
Oh, hey!
What is this?
What?
You buy this?
Maybe.
It's pretty interesting. Are you getting into scrapping, or what is this?
I am not getting into scrapping, thank you. Although it looks like it does.
Yeah, you got a nice little crane to pick up some heavy equipment.
Yeah, a crane that doesn't appear to move.
Nice.
A mirror that doesn't work, a door that doesn't open, a cab that's pushed in. How it didn't break the back window, I don't know.
Well,
yeah, I bought a hoopty.
Well, it is Cummins though. It sounds good.
It is Cummins.
So I'm guessing you probably paid premium for this thing just for that. I'm guessing.
Pretty good amount of money. Yes.
Yeah, sweet.
Made a trade plus cash deal with a friend.
Okay, there you go. And it's 5-speed. That's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, 91.
How many miles are on it?
Non-intercooled. 106,000 on the truck. But it was a welder at one point in time.
Yeah.
So it's got probably like 400,000 miles worth of idling on it. So it's a low mileage truck, but it's a ton of idling time.
Yeah.
It was an old work truck, welding truck rig for a long time out this way.
Well, that's not bad. So what are you going to do with it? Are you going to keep this truck, or you just want the motor?
I want the frame and engine and transmission and axle and drivetrain. Basically, I'm probably going to get rid of the bed. The bed is kind of hideous. Not kind of, it's very hideous. The cab is cool, but I've got a better cab for this.
Yeah.
Is the plan. So, I don't know if you've been keeping up with my projects. Let me go show you.
Cool, let's do it. Cool.
Hoopty back here, another hoopty. My semi-truck thing I bought. So
you didn't want to put any more work into this motor that's probably not going to be very fun anyways?
Yeah, motor that's not, the motor that doesn't really want to run. The frame, or drivetrain and brakes that I can't find parts for. I can't get wheel cylinders, I can't find, I can't find brake shoes, I can't find drums. This is, wheel, master cylinders and clutch master cylinders that I can't find parts for.
So you're just going to do a body swap then, is what you're saying?
Correct.
Nice, there you go.
So yeah, my plan is to pull that cab off and put this cab on. And then pretty much the rest of this chassis I can get rid of. Hoping I can find somebody that needs it for parts. Otherwise, I kind of hate to scrap it, but that might end up what's happening with this frame. I don't know that anybody wants this.
Right.
But yeah, taking this cab and putting it on that truck.
Sick.
That's gonna be cool. The easiest way to do it.
I think that's probably the proper way to go. Everyone was telling you need to come and swap this thing, so that's about the same thing.
So yeah, I think that's the plan.
Nice.
So because this frame, could work. I could swap suspension, I could swap axles, things like that, or just do what I do with my swap line.
Right.
And body swap it.
Yeah, and
this one should be relatively simple.
Yeah, you're ready to go. You got brakes, it's a driving truck.
Engine, transmission, rear end, drive shafts, fuel system, suspension, brakes, all of that's already here.
Nice.
So the brakes I'm gonna have to mess with. Might have to do some longer brake lines to the master cylinder to make it up to this cab or something. I'll have to play with that one. Not a big deal. And
so you still want to do a ramp truck with it, or what's the plan?
I think so.
Nice.
That's the plan. Hopefully it's long enough. This is a cab and chassis truck. It's got an 11-foot bed on it. So I'm hoping it's long enough. This cab being the LCF low cab forward, they called it. This sits about a foot closer to the center line of the front wheels than this one does. So by putting this cab on here, I should gain another foot.
So you have a 12-foot bed, roughly?
So then I basically have a 12-foot bed, plus then extend the back like a traditional Ram truck would have.
Right.
And I should hopefully have a long enough bed on the back of this truck with this cab on it for my chargers.
Hopefully a charger, yeah.
My really long chargers.
Yeah.
And hopefully the main problem I'm going to run into is my Daytona with the nose cone, which is an additional, I think, 14 inches,
Damn.
whatever it is. 16 inches, something like that. You know, over a foot longer on the front. So
That'll be a hard one. You think you'll be able to get the race car on there, or that's going to be too much of an incline onto that Ram truck?
I'll get it on there.
Yeah.
Might have to have some extra pieces of wood I carry with me.
Some long-ass ramps.
Something.
Yeah.
But I'll get it.
Nice. What are you going to do with this truck in the meantime? Just park it? Or what?
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I don't need another like running and driving truck, but it is. I could just register it and just get that part done with. Or, you know, just it shouldn't cost a whole lot out here. And maybe just have a running and driving truck that I can drive every once in a while. Maybe do some work on it in the meantime.
Yeah.
And that'll be a topic discussion as well. What do I want to title this as? Because I have that option here.
This is a 68? Is that what this is?
68 C500. Being old enough, I could register it as a collector's truck, but they're going to tax me more on a heavy duty because of its basically weight class that I can haul. But I can. It is still less with the with the collector's truck, basically.
Yeah.
So I got to look into that. Otherwise, I can register it as the 91 because the VIN stamped into the frame on these, and it'll just be a 91 Dodge with an older cab on it. So I'll have to play with that one.
Cool.
Best part of this truck. One of the best parts, I guess. No, that's the best part. 12 valve Cummins. Pretty cool too, actually, in my case. It's a 91, and it's an early 91, which means it's non-intercooled. The intercooler would be nice, but the non-intercooler really simplifies things when you're doing swaps. So I don't have all the tubing and piping and intercooler stuff that I've got to deal with. So, because this radiator, I'll have to end up mounting into the front end of that truck, and or using that radiator or a radiator that fits on that with different hoses. I gotta figure that out still, or you know, when I do that swap.
Right.
So then if you throw an intercooler in there, it just messes everything up. So it is kind of nice that it's a non-intercooled truck. Other than that, it is severely lacking on maintenance. Like one of the ones I can look at, I don't know if you can see this down here, the rubber bushing for the shock is completely falling out and
this
gone.
guy?
Yeah, there you go. That. So it's just little things like that. The actual control arm bushings don't look the greatest.
Yeah.
So I might have to change a lot of that stuff to make this a little bit better driving truck. But realistically, it's almost ready to go.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about these, but you said there's a couple things you did to your crew cab to kind of get a little bit more horsepower, like just...
Yeah, so
factory
history-wise
motor.
on these, they're pretty cool. Cummins spent a lot of money developing this engine, and they developed it for a medium-duty truck. And it was about that time, you know, medium-duty being your like single-axle dump trucks or your box trucks, things like that. And Dodge approached them and said, hey, you know, we're wanting to do a collaboration with somebody because we want to put a diesel in our truck. What do you have? And Cummins said, well, we don't really have much. You know, this is kind of what we, you know, we just developed this engine. We spent a bunch of money on it, but it's kind of overkill for your light truck application. And Dodge said, it's perfect, we'll take it. So, and then per regulations, rules, laws, whatever, insurance, I forget exactly what it was, Dodge needed to down tune them to make them sell at a certain price or whatever it was. But so Dodge ended up down tuning these quite a bit, more so with just a RPM spring and a fuel pin. They basically just put a governor on it, that's all it is. They governed it so it gives it less fuel, and then governed the throttle so it gives it less RPM. So these are governed at, it's either 2400 or 2600 RPMs.
What do they go to? Like, what is your crew
I got
cab
a
go to now?
3200 RPM fuel spring in my crew cab.
Oh yeah, and that's really where you're going to feel the power with the turbo too.
Yeah, because this one's weird. Cruising around in it, you know, shift into gear and you get on the throttle. Towing, I'm sure you'd feel it a little bit more, but being empty, it goes, and as soon as the turbo kind of starts pulling up, you start getting falls on its face because it's hit that RPM, and it's almost like you let off the gas because it hit that RPM mark. And it's really weird, and that's like I said, right about the time the turbo's spilling out. So then you shift to the next gear and you do that again until you're in fifth. And so this thing's like obnoxiously slow compared to my crew cab. And then yeah, the fuel pan, you can give it change the fuel pin in it, gives it more fuel, you know, more fuel, more air, more bigger bang, more power.
Yeah.
And but those are two things Dodge did to them just to down tune them. And so it's not really a performance upgrade, it's more just releasing power that's already there, or that's supposed to be there, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Is this the same 5-speed that's in your crew cab?
no, this is a Getrag, which was stock in these 91 to 89 to, no shit, when did they start them? 90, 91 was the first year, whatever. These first gen trucks, they used the Getrag 360s. The later trucks went to an NV4500, which is a better transmission, and that's what I put in my crew cab.
Right.
But those were in the later, I think, 2nd gen or 3rd gen Dodges. I'm really not 100% sure on that one. But I got lucky with that one. It was in a parts truck already. That was supposed to have a Getrag in it, and the farmer that I got that truck from forgot he put the NV4500 in it.
Nice.
Because they blew up the transmission, and at the time they were on back order.
Oh, okay.
So he ended up upgrading it to an NV4500.
Nice.
So this is a little bit technically not as strong of a transmission, but if you don't hot rod them too bad and actually use your clutch and drive it somewhat normally, they're just fine.
Yeah, should last forever. And I don't imagine you're gonna put that many miles on this thing if it's going in there.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Maybe.
And it'd be one of those that'd be really fun to drive to work.
Yeah.
And take it to car shows. You know, I would love to put like my race car on the back of this thing and take that, or Daytona or any of the Chargers, you know, my swept line even, and take that whole contraption to a car show and just park it.
Yeah.
And to leave, you know, like let's talk my race car, put the race car on the back, you know, Cummins 5-speed with that body on it. It would just look absolutely ridiculous sitting at a car show.
Yeah.
And it'd definitely be an attention getter. But yeah, beyond that, I really don't know that I have a application for it. I mean, I guess I've seen quite a few people use ramp trucks to go buy vehicles. And you put a winch at the front, and you can winch a non-running vehicle up onto them pretty easy.
Yeah, that'd be pretty handy.
And instead of towing around a trailer, you can just go drive that.
True.
So I may end up actually finding some use out of this.
Yeah. Hey, what we should do is we should drive this thing around the block, and then we should drive your crew cab. I want to feel the kind of the difference between
the difference. We can do that.
Between like the, what is it, the regulators or the governor?
The governor spring and the fuel pin.
Yeah. Because it's roughly the same setup. I don't know. This one probably weighs more, you think, than your crew cab with that huge, heavy bed?
Probably. This bed, driving this around, you can feel it even with the dually. It feels like the ass end's like full of weight, and it feels sort of squishy. When you go around corners, it almost feels like you got like weight on the back, you know, like a big heavy load.
Right.
And it's just that
Empty.
bed. So I know this, and it's empty. Yeah. So I know this bed's heavy.
Yeah.
So this does probably weigh more than my crew cab, but even at that, you'll notice a huge difference.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go for a spin.
Cool.
And then you'll have to go through my door.
Oh, okay. You're gonna open the door for me?
My passenger door doesn't work. Or you can do it, 'cause I always do it through the window, but
Dang.
probably,
This thing's pristine, man. I bet if you clean this up, it's actually a nice interior.
it's not bad, is it?
No.
You know, when I originally thought about, you know, after I purchased this, I'm like, this is a really nice truck, and kind of thinking I should maybe keep it, but then this is a good reminder. My cab that's pushed in.
Oh, it was hit right here?
Yeah.
Dang.
So, like I said, how it didn't break the back glass, I have no idea. So, but the cab's pushed in, and it pulled it off, the rubber off the back glass. So
You can probably just part out this good stuff, the dash.
you know, it's funny, I've had several of these now. I struggle to get rid of these parts.
Really?
I've thrown so much of this stuff away, which I'm sure there's people who are going to be upset. Oh, I could have used that. And for as long as I've had this stuff for sale,
Yeah, true.
and for as cheap as I try to sell some of this stuff for.
Yeah, you think the people out here would probably be into this stuff too?
Fuel gauge doesn't work either.
How's the clutch?
It releases way too early.
Yeah.
So I think it needs bled. Yeah, that's it.
That's floored?
So yeah, floor it, and it comes up to RPMs. And Starts pulling, and that's it. That's what you get.
Dang.
You're doing all of 28 miles an hour. We can roll through the gears up the road here and let's see. and 40 50 and 55 60.
Nice. Only 20 seconds later.
It's not fast at all.
But yeah, it just really just cuts off on the top end there, huh?
It does, yeah. Once you get into the 4th and 5th, it does start to pull a little bit better. Those seem to be kind of a little bit further spread out gears.
Yeah.
A little taller. Ooh, yeah. Getting that, what was that, mouse urine smell?
Oh, that's great.
That's great. Yeah, dude, this is so weird to drive. Because, yeah, you get into gear, it just starts to pull, and it just falls on its face. And do the same thing with 3rd, and the turbo starts to spool, and it falls on its face because it hits the governor.
All right, well, let's try this thing out.
Alright, here, let me let you in. I think we're locked, aren't we? Yeah, we are. Ooh. I need to do some more work on this thing. This thing's deprived.
You said you're gonna paint it, right?
I'd like to. It's getting really sun faded, so I at least need to rattle can it black again.
I mean, if you're gonna go through that effort.
But the problem is, if I actually want to paint it like I do, it needs body work.
Yeah.
I could just do what I did with the race car and just paint it, which wouldn't look terrible actually.
I mean, you could put maybe, you know, a couple more hours into the body work than you did that thing.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, the problem is, like, I got a pretty good dent on the door back there, and then I got rust over the wheel wells, and so the rust is really the kind of main concern.
Yeah.
And that's just, it's time consuming to fix. But I should probably do that sometime. But the hood's in great shape. It's got brand new fenders on it. One's an aftermarket fender, I forget which side. The other one's a new old stock fender. So those are in good shape. The doors are in decent shape, but the 2 rear doors, that one's got a pretty good dent in it, but you can't find good crew cab doors without paying an arm and a leg for them.
Yeah. But you do all this body color too on the inside, these door panels?
I was planning on leaving it black in here.
Yeah.
And leaving like the door jambs and everything black. And just painting the outside green.
Yeah.
There's no real reason to do the door jambs. I mean, because at that point it's, where do I stop?
Right.
So, I'll probably leave the interior black. Because the black with that dark green on the outside, you're really not going to notice.
All right, let's see how this thing rips, man.
Yeah.
Definitely sounds a lot better.
Yeah, well, this one's straight pipe with 4-inch exhaust. The other one was stock 3-inch with a muffler.
Yeah.
The muffler's rusted out though.